Hello. Continue working on our lining and attaching to the back panel. As I said before here, so that is loose and it should be longer. So as I did remind you, so you have to be longer, at least 1.5, yeah, maybe to 2 centimeters if it's necessary. So if it's not enough, please machine it, because that is the last time you can do that. Before we, when you've done that, so you check, make sure you have got enough, enough there, and it reaches and past your band, as you see on my one. So the next part would be we need to snip, and that's why it's so important that you machine it now, because after that it could be quite delicate place to do anything. So in that place, if you look here, so that's my machining. And here is the vent for in your seam allowance and in your lining. So I'm going to cut through there to release that and to, to cut to your actual, to the red stitching. So I'm going to snip that through. So if you see that, I'm snipping that. So yeah, check twice, 3 times, because it could be quite stressful to do that. Okay, so now I'm releasing, releasing the fabric from here and that part here. So I'm pinning slightly lower and extra what I have. So I'm going to pinch that, going to put the pin, so on that area here. So can you see that? So I'm going to pinch it. We're going to release it later when this lining is done. And now I'm going to attach my lining again and continue attaching to the center back with a tacking thread. So center back with your lining. So I hope you can see that. Okay, so we're just going to secure it. Okay. The next part would be, I'm just going to come back to that area there, to the seam. I'm going to concentrate on the vent. So lay flat, can you see that? Make sure it lays in the right place and it's in the right direction, and fold your seam allowance on the lining about halfway. So I'm going to draw the line so you can see. So that's halfway of my vent. So if you can see that. So halfway, that's it. And so that's straight. Check in again, make sure it's plenty of the fabric to cover all the panel, and then fold that over, fold underneath, and so it will match that. So I'm going to put a couple of pins there to actually stop there. So I've got some seam lines. I just stuck that, but actually I need to release it so I can push my fabric underneath, my lining underneath like that. So I will fold that over in a minute, but it's easier to have. So I'm just going to pin right there. And there we go. So that's roughly pinned together. So now I'm going to, so lots of fabric here is going on. So I'm going to cut that, just the half of that fabric away. and then folded that over to repeat the shape of my vent. So like that. So slightly below, obviously. It doesn't see to the other side, but I want to just to repeat the shape. So can you see that? We're just going to actually tidy up. So I need to tuck that again. I'm going to tidy this up. Spend a good time to make sure it's perfect, because otherwise there's no point. I'm going to push it more slightly to that. There's no point to do it if it's not perfect. Okay. There we go. That's nice. Nice and neat. Okay. Okay, perfect. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to actually reverse to that side, because it's much easier for me to tap from this side because I'm right-handed. So I'm going to tap to this side so I can release my pins, because I don't want to make sure, I need to make sure that I've got enough lining and it's my lining is not pulling. So I'm going to start from here again because I cut here. So go through, take my pins, and then, so if you see, but hopefully you can see closer. Can you see I've done on my lining in slightly angle, so away from the top fabric, so I don't see it at all. Also, it's gives you that little steps where the so it's not too bulky as well. So I'm going to put my pins away. The reason I've done that, so I actually can have plenty of lining available on my pleat. I'm just going to tap that. Again, if something goes wrong, unpick it, do it again until you are happy with your with the position of your lining. Okay. It may be easy for you to put another basting line here in the middle, which just holds lining in the middle, so it doesn't, so you don't pull lining by accident. So I'm going to stop here because I'm going to fold my lining over on the other side. So I'm going to stop there, leaving my seam allowance open. Yes, so can you see that? Yeah, so leaving my seam allowance open. Yeah. Oops. So, there we go. So okay, so that's absolutely perfect. So can you see it touch my vent? There we go. And I'll show you the next step, what we're going to do with the hem and also finishing the side panel. Okay, see you next time.